should you drop Gemini 2.5 Pro for Claude 4? In today's video, we're going to put them head to head. We have them here. We're going to test them on a game. We're going to test them on a website. We're going to test them for writing. So let's see. On the left here, we have Claude. We're going to use Claude Opus 4 for our coding one. And we're going to enable extended thinking here. So this is basically the best that it can possibly get. And on the right hand side here, we have Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview, which is the best Google Gemini one that we get as well. So we have a prompt that we're going to paste in here, and I'll get them started and then explain to you what's happening. But basically, it's a prompt from my school community that I've used a bunch of times for these experiments, which creates a New York cab simulator game. So create a single page HTML driving game using Three.js, so then it renders it like in an animation kind of format, where the player controls a New York yellow cab. The cab should drive through a simplified 3D cityscape with streets, buildings, traffic lights, including basic driving controls and simple collision detection. So basically, it should all be in a single HTML file so that it runs on one browser page. So I don't have to run it and actually turn it into an application. It can just run as an HTML. But yeah, basically a cab which goes around New York City. And as we can see here already, on the right hand side, Gemini 2.5 Pro is done. So let's click try now, and it should then open up in Canvas so we can just run it inside Gemini. Whereas on the left hand side here, we still have Claude 4 going along. And it's not even because of the thinking, because it only thought for 11 seconds. And on this side, I don't even think it did anything. Just, I don't know, boom, it worked. So let's see if we can actually get it up faster than this. Because for reference, Claude 4 for me is always so... any Claude is always so slow. And I don't know if it's me. If it's me, let me know. But I think it should work fine. I don't know why it's so slow. But I mean, both of them are actually taking a while here. But we'll see how they get on. And then once they run, we'll open them up. So the next thing we're going to check after this is we will check a website, and we'll actually, let me go back here, we'll do a single page website generator. And in this one, we're going to do a physics lesson website. So let them be a bit more creative and see what they can come up with. So create a physics lesson website complete with multiple live demos of physics in action. Be creative, use Three.js, and make it into a single HTML page. So first, what's going on here? So on Claude, that's still running. And Gemini here isn't even working by the looks of it. Nothing's happening. Well, that's disappointing. Let me see. Nothing on screen. And we'll see what it comes up with. Because I actually just tested this out a minute ago, and it came up with something that worked. So I don't know why it's not working. Claude's still going. That's been like 3 minutes. But we'll see. I mean, because maybe the reason that it's going so long is because it's going to work the first time around. But again, I have already tried this specific prompt. The other ones I haven't, but this specific prompt I have, and it should work perfectly. Fix error. More errors with Gemini. Not looking good, mate. Not looking good. Meanwhile, whoa, what's happening here? So, let me see. Can I actually move around in this one? Yes, but it's like back to front or something. Yeah, so the buttons are back to front. Whoa, it's got a speedometer. That's crazy. There we go. Look, we're a New York cab sliding sideways backwards. The buildings, can't go into them. That's good. Whoa. Gemini can't fix the error. Must be just too much for it. Let me see here. Oh, no, there we go. Boom. Hey. There's no speedometer or anything, and it's super slow. But it looks good. So the functionality is there for Claude, kind of. I don't know why the buildings are this colour. That's kind of crazy. But for Gemini, it's just not really, not very good. But it looks good. So there you go. I would say on this one, Gemini might win. Let me know what you think. But that's enough of that one. Let's move on to the next test. So the next test, let's open up a new chat. In this one, it's going to be the physics one. So we'll let it be creative, extended thinking, boom. And again, on this one, we'll select Canvas this time so that it automatically pops open into Canvas. Paste that in. And in the past, it has tried to create things. Oh, that's much faster. That's better. In the past, it's tried to create things like where it's like pendulums, you can control the speed, stuff like that. But we'll see how it gets on. And because it's physics lesson, if it's a coding bot or coding model, it should be good at maths, which is like physics. There's logic to the madness. Now let's see how it's getting on. It's actually crazy fast. I don't know what's happening here. Maybe it's, there's a queue to get into using it or something. Oh no, it's changed to Sonnet. That's why. Smart efficient model. Where's this one here? So we'll see how Sonnet gets on, and then if it's not as good as Gemini, we'll try it with Opus. So they're both still cracking on here. Okay. Right, Gemini's finished first, which is interesting. Boom, there we go. Although there is an error, apparently. Hey, this is almost exactly the same as it made the last time. That is weird. Anyway, there's an error apparently. Let's fix the error. On this side, what's happening? It feels like it's just frozen. Maybe it's reached its context window length. Because remember here as well that on the left hand side, Claude only has a context window of 200,000 tokens, whereas Gemini it's 1 million. And 200,000, sure, that is a lot. It's probably more than you'll ever really need for general usage. But when you're thinking of like coding, you maybe need more. You're almost out of usage. See, this is the thing that I hate with Claude. I'm on Pro. I just bought Pro and I've only used like 4 chats, maybe 5, and I've already almost run out. That's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so on here, how we're working. Still not doing anything. Is that because it's writing code? Yes. On here we have the physics lab. Now let me see if I can open this up. We'll download it as HTML and we'll open it up here. Bam. So first one here we have physics lab, interactive physics and simulations and learning, projectile motion, pendulum, planetary, wave and particle. That's pretty cool, man. I like this. If it came out properly, that would be good. You can change these here. Now let me see if I launched to do anything. Whoa, yeah, you can see it going all the way up there. Like clear trails, and we'll change that again. See here that it's actually working. That's pretty cool, man. Look at that. Interesting. Just wish I could zoom in. Projectile motion here as well, the theory. That's pretty cool. Pendulum, and that's running like this too. Let me see if I change the length, change the dampening. With the equation as well, that's cool. Although I can't confirm if these equations are correct. And then here we have one as well, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Wave inference, pretty cool again. With the equation, which I can't tell you if it's correct or not. And then particle collision. I just wish if this zoomed in more, this would be fantastic. As a one shot, just make it up. So anyway, on the other side, let's see, Gemini will definitely be done. Let's see their preview it. So we'll download this one too, maybe. Let me just copy the URL. We'll open it up here so that we can see it better. Whoops. Share, Canvas, creating the link. Link copied. Don't know what happened there. Boom. There we go. So this one, I think, to be fair, looks better already. I do like that it's all on one page and that I don't have to change here. That I can just scroll down if I want, but then also I can click on here to get it automatically go. So the first one, gravity and planetary orbit. So if we've got planetary motion, you can see Gemini just looks so much better here. Yeah, although I can't change it, which is unfortunate, so it's not interactive. Projectile motion is interactive, so I can change this stuff. Let's see if it works. Boom. Whoa! Although I feel like the launch angle they've actually got upside down. So if I go this all the way to 0, goes across, yeah, so it's back to front. But pretty cool. And reset actually appears to reset, although it doesn't reset my cannonballs, which is interesting. Pendulum motion, gravity. If we increase gravity, increase the mass, increase the length. That's cool. Newton's cradle, let's start that. Bam. That's pretty cool. So yeah, in my opinion, I think honestly, Gemini has the one-shot upper hand here, especially for the graphics, for how it looks. And honestly, 90% of how humans interact with things are visually how it works, as opposed to like the different functionalities, especially at first glance. So yeah, Gemini is looking better for here. So the final one I want to do is a bit of writing. So let's open up a new chat, because honestly I get absolutely sick of ChatGPT, and I try to use AI. What's that usage? That's ridiculous. I try to use AI Studio or Gemini if I can be bothered to do it, because often I find a lot of these LLMs give me kind of similar answers, and I don't like it, because I'm trying to find personalised, authentic ways to talk, and this is where I do see great hope in using styles here. For reference, I've never really been a Claude user. Claude was one of the first LLMs that I was introduced to other than ChatGPT, and I felt it was so unintuitive at the time compared to what ChatGPT was, with kind of like how it worked in downloading Claude onto my desktop and stuff. But it is apparently a really good model. So far, I haven't seen evidence that it is actually much better than any of the others that I currently use. And I absolutely hate this. The fact that I pay now monthly and I still get limits reset is an absolute nightmare. So like when I was making my README generator website, which was like a little AI startup I was going to do, and I would use Claude sometimes to try and fix problems that like Gemini couldn't fix. This was before I kind of found out about cursor and stuff. And when I try and paste the code in here to work, it would run out of context, and or it would run out of limits. Nightmare. So anyway, to writing, once we do the writing, we'll run it through 0GPT to see, is it detectable as GPT writing? And we'll do something like write up a LinkedIn. So I have here a little prompt. Write up a LinkedIn post about the new Claude 4 model, add in comparison to Gemini. Want it to be kind of funny but relatable, not too long. Also, don't sound like a chat GPT, please. So we'll send that one in. And we'll do the same to Gemini here, and we'll see what they come back with. Because writing like LinkedIn posts and stuff, they always come back and it's like, you'll be scrolling through LinkedIn and you'll go, that's a ChatGPT post. That's a ChatGPT post. For like 95% of posts, and it's a nightmare. So it'd be good to actually have like an AI version, which it doesn't appear to be like an AI thingy version. Wait, I've just been thrown. What does it mean 1.5 Pro? Is that person obviously sees everything? I'm so confused. Then you've got Claude 4, Claude 3. I said 4 and 2.5, not 3 and 1.5. What? I'm kind of confused here. It's just at a glance, try to read through it. It does sound like it understood it at the beginning and then it just lost context. But non-existent products. Can't you search the web, bro? Well, this is pretty disappointing. And I think that's a weird thing with AI agents is like, I always assumed they would just work, but the amount of context and system prompts and stuff you need to do is crazy. You start to realize that actually you are not creating, or you're not just using things that exist, you are creating like AI automation systems, which is kind of why I created the school community Applied AI, so you can learn how to actually use AI and how to actually build agents. But it's also why I have the free community, the AI Automation Hub community, because you really need to learn how to actually get these things to work, because you need to be specific. So anyway, there we go. It's actually created a LinkedIn post now with my human in the loop involvement. So let's copy this one first, and then we'll read it once we've pasted that in here. And then the same with this one here. Let me copy this, paste that in here. We'll detect, scroll down, what's it saying? So both, it says it's human written, which is very interesting. But anyway, let's compare the actual posts themselves. Don't like that this is like side here. Save as PDF. Hey, that's interesting. Bold and preview. Why is it taking so long? Cool. Anyway, so well, I'll blank to we're already at Claude 4 here. Phone bill had time to learn the last model names. For anyone else, choosing your AI feels like picking new hire for your brain. Gemini 2.0 Pro is this one. 4 is this one. This is the one shows up for your interview with a 1,000,000 token resume, then analyzes it. Documentation real time. It's good. Confused, don't know what you're talking about. New senior dev immediately starts refactoring your code base. That's quite funny. The new dilemma is understand everything in existence for me. Go build this complex thing for me. That's actually pretty good. But and this one, so Claude 4 just dropped, and I'm sitting here like that friend shows up the right. Already deep in conversation, flexing with its 1,000,000 token window. Neo Claude 4 Sonnet, smart, efficient for everyday stuff. I get it. Shiny reasoning mode and can process your entire code base in one go. Sometimes you don't need a model that thinks really hard about whether your email sounds too aggressive. Okay. I must admit, in this instance, and it may just be because of the way this is formatted, I actually prefer Gemini's response. Let me open this window up a little bit more so I can read it properly. Say, competition breeds innovation, honestly. We're all winning. So I feel like I like the content of Gemini 2.5's better, and I actually kind of like the formatting better, but I like the voice better inside Claude. So I'd like to see how I could maybe implement this type of structure into Claude, which would be interesting, because then you can actually get the voice of Claude, which is what I want. Which is an interesting idea, actually, to think of like how some LLMs you like them for the framework they create, other LLMs you like them for the voice that they have. But it just shows the power of, introducing multiple ones. For example, here in Gemini, every time we're seeing that it is like not as good at the creative or let me think. See, because it's funny on the Gemini. So what we're finding is on Gemini, it's like creating the structures well for the writing. It has then created a really cool UI for everything that works really well. Whereas on the Claude side of things, it created logic that was really good, and then it creates that like written voice, which is really nice. So it's almost like under the hood is better in Claude, and the actual, outer coating or whatever you want to think about it like, the kind of frameworky stuff. Is better for Gemini. So interesting. Leveraging both these models wherever you can is the best idea. As I said before, for money wise, you really want to be going and looking at how much it costs. So if we look at Claude 4 API pricing and we go to Gemini, so if we go to AI Studio, inside here you can see the models. We have 2.5 Flash Preview, the latest preview, Pro Preview. And you can see for Flash Preview, so this one here, it's so cheap. Like, it's crazy how cheap it is. Let me see if you can see it better here. Like this. There you go. So Flash Preview, 15 cents for input for thinking and $3.50 for output. For reference, you can see it on the other screen. Pricing for Claude 4 starts at $15 per million input, 75 output. But Opus 4 is more equivalent to Pro Preview here, but even still, that's $1.25 and 10. So much cheaper, it's not even funny. And then for the Flash Preview, that's more comparable to your Sonnet, which if you see here, we'll click into the data count blog. So for here, you can see that it's $3 per million input and 15 for output. Here it's 15 cents and then $3.50. So much cheaper. So if you want something that is like the best agentic coding model, i.e. Opus 4, and you really need it, you can use it, but just know how much more expensive it is. You probably would be better to run multiple times using something like Gemini. especially for the pricing structure, and also you do get free for these as well. So just worth consideration. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Come and join our free AI community and get involved in the discussion. Things like this, as soon as they're released, they're always talked about. Not forward to seeing you in there.